All right, mine went to commercial. Let's shoes. So I'm interested in this, Lincoln, because
Yeah.
remember back in the 2020 U.S. Olympic marathon trials, the story was basically shoes.
Oh
There
dear
was a
Lord.
whole
Yes.
room of alpha flies that you
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
allegedly tried to sneak into to see. You just wanted to see what was in there, and you were not allowed to do that. And then all the half of the questions at the press conference seemed to be about. There were more questions about the shoes than COVID, and this was a month before everything got shut down for COVID. Do
Not
you
even a
feel
month.
like
No, it was like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It was the end of February.
really that's it? Oh, it was the end of
Anyway,
February. Okay, so
yeah.
now we're here in 2021 August. We have this road race, and I feel like the discussion has obviously lessened a bit, and I think it's attributable to two reasons. One, back then it was just a Nike thing, and everybody's trying to catch up, and now you have
Yeah.
different shoe companies coming up with their own shoes. And two, the new shoe discussion has transferred to the track, and everybody talking about
Yep.
the spikes and the dragonflies, et cetera, et cetera. How do you see it?
Yeah. I mean, I it's kept alive by obviously a few people. It seems like I think Nike has loved all of this. You're right. At the time, obviously, we were covering a marathon, so we're not going to be talking about track spikes. But if my memory serves me correctly, we were just starting to hear around that time the murmurs of, oh, but the, and I no, I guess it was before that because it was in Doha. Doha, I feel like starting to
Yeah.
hear, oh, these new spikes that the Nike athletes have, or at least some of them are wearing, are, I
Hmm.
mean, for lack of a better term, people were calling them cheater spikes. And it's not my words, but I think that people in the sport, there's always going to be people who are looking for some controversy. So I think it's good that some time obviously has allowed companies to catch up. I'm not a believer in stirring the pot of shoe conspiracies. I'm and a lot. Some of it is fatigue. Uh, but I mean, I don't know. Like Carson Warholm just ran 45.94 in a non Nike spike. So some people
Hmm.
are, would he have been worth 45 seconds in Nike spikes? I mean, probably not, right? Uh,
No.
so I think it's just the nature of the uh, of things shift. Even the people who are bringing up the shoe stuff get tired of it, and then oh, now there's new spikes things, and people get asked about it. Quotes are pulled out. It's anything. I'm never going to be one to complain about the media because I've been in the media, and I always think it's a cop out when people say that's just a media thing. It's like first off, everyone has a platform now. Anyone can make a controversy. It's not just a media thing.
Mhm.
But it's a controversy kept alive by a couple people. I hear. It's funny. I was watching the stream on the track a couple nights ago, and Tim Hutchings tried to just throw in a comment about the shoes, about how there hasn't been much discussion about the uh, the spikes as far as, like, I guess on the stream or maybe and also in social media. And then the well, maybe he wasn't prepared to talk about it, but his lead commentator just didn't even address it. Just like started talking about something else. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are tired of hearing about it. The I do not view it as big of a thing as possible. I know technology's still going to come. The good thing about this road race is no woman is going to run 2:12 right now, and uh, because it's a slow race. So I tend to think the technology is, I don't know, negated a little bit. As we have
Yeah.
my in the background a true crime documentary I'm still waiting to see about these shoes. Anyways, I've rambled for a bit here, but it is not anything I spend time thinking about anymore.
Yeah. I think on the road, there's been all this time to catch up because of 2020. So any imbalances that were there, they might still exist, but it's much smaller than it was before. And then now you're seeing that same argument transfer to the track where you had all these people wearing non Nike athletes wearing Nike spikes and
Yeah.
not be getting released for their contracts so they could run in these Nike spikes. But I would guess by the time 2022 rolls around, the development will have caught up, or people will have found the shoe that they're comfortable in and then gone from there. But in
You know
these
what's
Olympics,
also, I was going to say what slowed this down too is the coronavirus. I think people have found, even in the track community, even if you're still paying attention, uh, the it feels dumb to complain about shoe technology when we've got it's just there's been bigger things at hand in the world than complaining about what's on people's feet. So it seems like such a
like the
small issue now. I'm
track,
sure it's not for the athletes,
the
but
track is the big issue now. The track.
now
People want
that's,
to talk
yeah,
about the
we're moving
track.
to there is a
But
constant need, and it's a human thing. I a tendency to just find some new way to explain a fast time. Oh, it's got to be. I mean, I know that Bob Beeman's jump in Mexico City was at altitude, but imagine if that had happened now. I mean, people would be
mhm,
like,
mhm.
"Whoa, what was the board? Were there springs under there?"
Yeah.
And the board company would wanting to market their board to other, I don't know, potential track builders and purchasers. I don't know.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Yeah, it's the springiest board you've ever seen. We really built it with a lot of technology," and that stirs the controversy when
Yeah.
all they're really doing is putting marketing out for their product. I mean, that's what Mondo's doing with the track, and that's what Nike's doing too. And I just think it's all so dumb. But anyways,
Yeah. I think too, people, they go down the list of like, how can I lessen this performance? And for a while, and then you check off the familiar boxes, and then with this one it's like, oh, it's the track's issue, which is funny because they're talking about how crazy the times are, which we know that there were some insane times, right? We know that the Warholm Benjamin race and the McLaughlin Muhammad race were insane. They were really fast, and we know that Thompson Hurrah running number 2 all time is quick. But from the outside looking in, of someone who just tuned into track this week, they are saying, "Wow, cool guys, you had 3 world records. 3. That's it.
yeah,
Not
I mean,
not
it feels
swimming where it's 20. It's 3 a night
everything's
in swimming a lot
yeah,
of the times." Yeah. So
yeah.
like, to say that this is going to like lessen people's interest in track, and this is what we got
No,
into before when we talked about the shoes, it's almost the opposite. You'd want to make the track faster to get more people interested in track, so they're seeing
yeah.
historic performances.
100%, and I agree with it entirely, and I just don't. It's not like there weren't fast times before there were quote unquote super shoes. I just think people tend to get faster as we continue to learn more information. Shoemakers make better shoes, and athletes get faster, and there's always progression. I know there are some events where you go 30 to 40 years without a world record, and I think the right athlete has to come along, and so that can just because there's a world record doesn't mean there's something nefarious going on. I sometimes it does. We know that, but it doesn't mean it every time. And just if somebody runs faster than somebody else, we don't have to be up in arms about it. It's typically a good thing when world records are set. So yeah, I'm just very much over it, over the old the shoe take, the technology and the anti-technology movement. I don't understand it. It's done nothing negative to the sport in my eyes. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, once it got to be balanced, I think that was the key thing. It's just like, is everybody on
Yeah,
even playing, or relatively even playing field? Because when you have a sport that's fueled by sponsorship of shoe companies who are developing new products, you can always say, hey, this person's going to have more resources than that person. This person can try this new technology this other person can get. So it's never going to be completely equal, but now at least we're closer to it. It is hotting up in this marathon, Lincoln, and
yeah. I
a
like this
balance
strategy by
water
Chumba
bag
about
balance
rain.
contest. Yeah.
Hmm.